Issue 150. After some brief recap, Kentobor explains to Sonic that after his emerald energy was drained and he was shrunk, instead of turning back to normal and staying on Mobius for the rest of the comic, he ended up unconscious in a desert, no longer filled with hatred and evil. Then he was found by nomads and was fortunately treated like royalty for being an off-worlder. That's good. Naturally, his scientific ability was just what the place needed. I'd understand if he was treated like royalty for that, but he was treated so well as an outsider even before doing anything to earn it. You'd think they would, burn him as a witch for being an alien. Anyways, the first month he was here, he had redesigned the city's plumbing system. Now I'm getting fond memories of Nate and Archie and how he brought the Industrial Revolution to Metropolis. He explained that 2 weeks ago, the princess rewarded his efforts by making him her Grand Vizier. Kentobor then explains that he's worried that if he goes back to Mobius, he'd turn into Robotnik again. I guess even he doesn't understand why he was drained of his evil, since he thinks being in the subatomic world makes him good, and not the fact that the evil was drained away with the emerald power. Kentobor is called to the presence of the princess, and at first the guards don't even listen to Kentobor and Sonic and threaten Sonic, forcing him to run around them and tie them up with a green curtain with witty dialogue. Then the hideous princess says to stop the naughtiness at once. I hope it's not Sonic she's talking to, since he's clearly just trying to protect himself. The princess is nice to Kentobor, assumes that Sonic is Kentobor's pet, and demands that he will be because she says so. What a spoiled brat. After she says she's fond of Kentobor, she immediately gives him a mission for her of certain death. Huh? Doesn't she love him? Why would she send him on a mission like that? In the next story, which is finally by a new writer, we start out in a white void with us being told that sometimes there's zones even secret to Sonic, but not for long. And we see Sonic in downtown Metropolis running from a missile that's seeking him specifically and can pointlessly taunt him as well. The smart missile says that if Sonic can solve the following rhymes by the trickster, he'll be given the chance to deactivate him to avoid an explosion. I guess this villain is just having fun with Sonic and doesn't realize what he's doing wrong. Obviously, this sounds silly, but it's very creative, so I like it. Sonic guesses the first answer as the Metropolis high-security prison. The missile shoots laser, which frees Mr. Fry, the transforming alchemist, who Sonic jumps over and hits on the head to easily knock out. So how was he here? Isn't he supposed to be in the special zone? As he's given the next riddle, we see Techno tapping on her invisible keyboard in front of a computer, saying that she's just discovered a secret computer system belonging to a zone never encountered before. Sonic then says that the final answer is the Metropolis scrapyard. He sees Metalix parts and other robot parts joined together, which is odd since I don't see Archie's Krudzu plant anywhere. Sonic easily hits the metal knuckles with his super speed attack, and then he's told that pulling the wrong wire on the missile will make it explode. Fortunately, Techno jams the missile circuitry with a special frequency and saves the day just in time. The story ends with them going into a gateway into the Trickster's special zone. Even I know that this is basically a ripoff of the Riddler. In the next story, we see Sonic standing up to bullies in Emerald Hill Zone who are mistreating a weird-looking person, and Sonic runs through the civilians reminding them that he's someone who stands out as well. He gives them what they deserve by catching them the tornado, and tells Tails to let Patrick Star run away with the coast clear. Patrick tells Tails not to follow him, and Tails almost runs off a cliff while doing so as he jumps into a tunnel tube with them, which takes them to the Underzone. While Sonic is calling Tails Pixel Brain, wondering where he is, we see Tails being greeted unhappily for being a surface dweller and introducing himself to the Queen, who reveals that this comic has its own variety of the unlikable nerves. Since this is also a secret underground society of people who have lived in secret for centuries with no contact with surface dwellers. I guess Zeg went to the outside world out of curiosity. After the Queen thanks Tails for rescuing him, her so-called reward is to refuse to let him come home. He sheds a tear and passes on the mud cake offered to him by surprisingly accepting the chef, who immediately says he's one of them. So I guess these are the good counterparts to the Nerbs, since they're not being racist. But the Nerbs were more realistic, because of course an isolated society would be racist. Patrick tells Tails that everything they use is fashioned from natural minerals, and they use coal for their fuel. It's interesting to have this be elaborated on to kind of explain how this underground society lives, because the story with the NURBS didn't do that. Then someone panics at hitting a pocket of poison gas, and Tails spins his tails as a fan to keep the gas away from inhabited areas. This gives them time to find something to seal the leak, and fortunately this lets the Queen let him leave. It makes sense at least this time that he won't tell Sonic about a solo adventure, because he can't. The story ends with Sonic calling Tails buddy, asking where he's been, getting a dumb pun-filled response, and Sonic thinking that he'll never understand Tails. What a close friendship they have together. The last story is just reprint. The first story was by Nigel Kitching and explains that the former Eggman was found and immediately treated like royalty in the small universe, which strangely happens before he helps the town with his technology genius. It's really nice hearing that he's helped the place so much. That plumbing system is a big help. Then it's revealed that he's forced to humor a hideous princess who's a spoiled brat, insisting that Sonic is his pet, and sending someone she adores on a mission of certain death. Why? Is she crazy? Wouldn't she want the town to keep being benefited by him? That's just frustrating. The second story was by Jim Alexander, a new writer for once, although the art was off-putting. It was about a ripoff of the Riddler giving Sonic riddles for a heat-seeking missile that sends villains after him for him to very easily knock down. I'd expect Mr. Fry, who shouldn't be in the zone, to give him much more difficult of a fight than this. And then Techno stops the missile and conveniently figures out where the portal to the Trickster Zone is, because technology powers. You know, nanites, nanobots, that's one word, that's all you have to say to make it make sense. Lou Stringer wrote the final story, which is about Tails discovering an oddly accepting version of the NURBS, as they accept him as one of them for rescuing one of them. And it's only the Queen who's a problem by refusing to let him leave their secret society. Fortunately, Tails saves the day by fanning away a poison leak and is allowed to leave the village of Patrick Stars as a result. I expected this issue to be much more of a big deal, being the 150th. Archie got that right.